The KHOU 11 studios, this is HTownRush.
First at 6, as the number of coronavirus cases across the world grow, we want to highlight some of the positive headlines we've seen this morning. First up, an amazing sight in New York City overnight. The Empire State Building lit up like an ambulance to honor first responders and healthcare workers. Also, The Late Show returns. Stephen Colbert was back with his first all-new episode since New York issued its stay-at-home orders. He hosted last night's show from his living room. And progress on vaccines and treatment for COVID-19. Johnson & Johnson hopes to launch clinical trials for a vaccine late this year. The FDA gave the go-ahead for doctors to treat patients with a pair of malaria medications. And remember, you can get the very latest on the coronavirus outbreak at any time. Just text that keyword FACTS to the number on your screen there. Just popped up, 713-526-1111. For now, welcome to HTownRush. Let's kick off our Rush block with the check of the forecast. And Cheetah, folks at home can really look forward to a couple of nice days of weather.
Oh, they sure can. In fact, can you tell where our cold front is right now? Nice separation between 60s and 70s. And this is where our boundary is, just northwest of Harris and Montgomery County this morning. So notice that's the transition. You go from 62 in College Station, 65 in Brenham, down to 70 in Conroe, 71 in Tomball. So slowly but surely, our temperatures will drop to the 60s before they build near 80 this afternoon. Clouds are also going to continue to break. Because of the clouds, still the high relative humidity. I'm going to keep about a 20% chance of just that stray shower early, but then check it out by lunchtime today, 77, low relative humidity. That will take you into this afternoon nearing 80 degrees, so 79 this afternoon, and a whole lot of that sunshine, clearing skies, Steph. It's just going to be a beautiful day today.
Oh, looks like it. All righty, Cheetah. We have that to look forward to, and we can look forward to in the next few minutes this situation clearing heading into the Pierce Elevated. That stall has been in place for the last 30 minutes, but luckily it was already off to the shoulder and tow arrived about a minute ago. So should be off the freeway shortly. That you're going to see just as you head north of the East Tex Freeway. Let's take you to Pearland. Good morning, everybody. If you're heading out like normal, here's a look at your travel time there. So North 288, if you hop on at FM 518 going into downtown, it is a 13-mile stretch. Will take you less than 15 minutes with the average speed clocked at 63 miles an hour. Xavier.
All right, Steph, thank you. Now to coronavirus headlines you need to know about this morning. The fight is ramping up across the country. The U.S. recorded more than 500 deaths in a single day for the first time yesterday. In all, about 3,100 Americans have died. Across the country, there are now more than 164,000 confirmed cases. We also reached a major milestone in testing. President Trump announced the U.S. has tested more than 1 million people. Meantime, here in the Houston area, there were more than 100 new cases reported yesterday that put our region above 1,000 cases. And keep this in mind, those numbers will grow as we get more access to testing. That brings us to a new public test site that'll open today at the Smart Financial Center in Sugar Land. Janelle Fort now joining us live with what you need to know.
Hey Xavier, good morning. Well, the big thing is that everything is done here at the testing site. There is no online pre-screening or code needed. When you get here, medical professionals will ask a series of questions about things like symptoms and recent travel to determine if a test is needed. And just to manage expectations here, it's important to know that these tests are being prioritized for people who are already showing symptoms or who are high risk. Now, this is the second testing site collaboration between Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee and United Memorial Medical Center. And much like their smaller scale testing site in Houston, this is drive-through testing. It's open to the public. You get here, you go to the first tent and are screened to determine if your symptoms warrant you being tested. If that's the case, you'll advance to the registration tent and then the testing tent. And most results are available within 4 to 24 hours. Now, this comes as their other site at United Memorial Medical Center, Tidwell, launches its 46-bed COVID-19 annex dedicated to caring for coronavirus patients. And UMMC is also gearing up to start their mobile COVID-19 testing efforts to reach seniors who are unable to leave their homes due to an increased susceptibility to the virus. Now, testing again starts here at 10 a.m. this morning, and then more weekdays following today. Testing will be from 9 a.m. To 4 p.m. And if you want a full list of all the testing sites in our area, you can head over to our website, KHOU.com. Sending it back to you guys in the studio.
Our website is such a great resource. Janelle Fort, thank you for that report. Patients self-isolated and in the dark waiting for their test results. Plus, a major company joins the race to create a vaccine. Your Rush Block continues.
We know that testing's been a problem from the very beginning. Right now, we're finding out that people who had their tests taken almost 2 weeks ago are just now getting their results. So we're asking the question, is it worth it?
Everybody's working just as hard as they can to get it better, but the problem is advancing faster than we're able to catch up.
Residents of a 55-plus community in the Woodlands on a shelter-in-place order starting tonight. 12 residents tested positive at the conservatory at Olden Bridge. The complex will lock down at 6 p.m. Residents can leave until then if they want to quarantine with family, but those people they stay with will also have to self-isolate until April 13th. You won't see checkpoints along the Texas-Louisiana state line, even with new travel restrictions. Everyone driving into Texas from Louisiana must self-quarantine for 2 weeks. DPS plans to step up patrols and do random follow-ups, but it won't lock down highways. Toyota steps up to help doctors and nurses. The automaker is making 3D printed face shields for MD Anderson, UT Southwestern in Dallas, and other hospitals around the nation. Production starts next week. Vaccine trials ramp up, but we're still likely a year or more away. Johnson & Johnson is helping develop a vaccine and hopes to start human testing by September. It could be ready for emergency use by early next year. And that's your Rush Block on this Tuesday morning.